everyone, today in this video I'm going to be checking out the iRobot Roomba Vac Essential. iRobot did send me the sample, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging. Everything looks great. They walk you through some key features on the back and the side of the box. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and see what's inside. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our product literature with 1-year warranty information, as well as a quick start guide and safety guide right here, walking us through important safety and precautions, as well as setup instructions. And they also have some additional regulatory information and customer service and contact info, and that repeats in multiple languages. Next, you'll find an extra included air filter. We have our side cleaning brush. We have our power supply right here with barrel connector. There's a look at the specs on the power supply. We also have our charging station with the iRobot logo and branding, charging contacts. Take a look at it from all different sides and angles. On the back side here, this is where we plug in the power supply, and we have built-in cable management for any extra cable we have, and 2 channels to route it on the side so it can be flush against a wall or your trim and baseboards. On the very bottom, we have 2 grip feet here and some additional product information. And last but not least, let's look at the Roomba. On the top of the Roomba, you'll find front and center the iRobot logo and branding, as well as 3 different control buttons: home, power clean, and spot clean. We have our navigational bumper. And let's look at it from the side. On the side, you'll see we have a built-in speaker here. There's that navigational bumper, getting how much wiggle room it has. Additional sensors along the front. We'll look at it from the other side. We have some air exhaust right there. And from the very back, we have our bin removal. Now looking at it from the very bottom, we have our 2 spring-loaded drive wheels, our main brush roller that we can easily pop out and clean as needed. Pretty slick there with the bristle and rubber hybrid design. Additional product info, cliff sensors, charging contacts, omnidirectional wheel. Then we have the spot where we can install the side cleaning brush right there. And you're looking at the underside of the dustbin. Here's a look at the dustbin removed, revealing a multi-purpose cleaning tool for detangling. You can cut out hairs and tangles right there with the tool. We can open this up as well too to reveal the inside to empty and clean as needed. Here's our included filter, and we have that extra filter as well. We'll look at it from all different sides and angles. And then that just slides right back in, and we can look at the unit with the dustbin removed. Now it's time to start cleaning. right, we just finished our first clean. Let's look at some real world results. So we're gonna pop out the dustbin right here and we'll look inside. Here we go. Oh, that's disgusting. Take a look at all the pet hair and human hair in there, the dirt and the dust that it was able to agitate and vacuum up. So those really small particles are impressive to me because it's trapping it in the dustbin. It's not exhausting it back out throughout your house and your environment. So look at that, tons of hair, crumbs, dirt, dust, and debris. This is what you can expect realistically around your house. I have a dog and 2 children, as well as my wife. So 2 adults, 2 kids, and a dog. And this is just one clean. And now we'll flip it over to the bottom to take a look at the side cleaning brush. A lot of times you'll find tangles here, but it's good to see we don't have any hair tangling around the brush right now, but keep an eye on that periodically. And same for the main brush roller. We do have a couple of tangles right here already that we'll have to cut off. Very typical and common to experience that with longer human hair, even pet hair as well. But for us, that's going to be my wife and kids' long hair. Don't worry though, we can take the included detangling tool. We can just cut all of that hair away right there and then just gently pull off the brush. So really easy to maintain. Now I want to show you the iRobot app. So here's a look with the Roomba Vac Essential set up. We have an image of the vacuum there, battery indicator. It's not a percentage though. I wish they showed us the percentage. And when it's charging, that little Thunderbolt will be the same color as that bar basically. And then moving further down, we have our favorite section. So where do you want it to vacuum? You can set your favorites. We have a schedule option, so you can put this on a schedule to clean automatically. Then we have our cleaning history. So take a look at that. Here's our first clean. You may or may not have a map populate here, but the map is not customizable. It's just basically green area showing you where it was able to clean. We have our cleaning area, 554 square feet in 1 hour and 1 minute, and a breakdown of the clean right there. There's a dirt event option as well too. So if you have any of those, there you go, and they explain it for you right there. But a nice layout for the cleaning history. And then further down, we have our messages, tips and reminders will show up there, followed by product health, letting us know when parts and components need maintenance. Then we have our product settings. This is really helpful to get to our cleaning preferences. But you'll see we can learn more about the Roomba. We can locate the Roomba if it's missing. Here's the cleaning preferences I was talking about, where we have our suction settings, low, medium, and high. If you get the combo version of this with the mopping pad and module, you also will have water adjustment settings here, 3 different water levels. Language options, we can reboot, and then we have our Wi-Fi and network settings at the bottom. And then further down, owner's guide, then we have a help section. We also have an iRobot beta. So if there's any beta features for your vacuum, you can get them right here. So stay tuned for that. Just check back regularly. And then at the very bottom, you'll notice the My Products, My Home, Messages, and Store. So that's going to be the rest of the app with those different tabs, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. But for the Roomba Vac Essential, this is where you'll spend most of your time. You'll probably put it on a schedule and forget about it. Or if you want to come in here really quickly and adjust your cleaning preferences, that's probably where you're going to be spending most of your time within this app. So how does our iRobot Roomba Vac Essential stack up against the competition? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. We'll be comparing it not only within iRobot's product lineup, so that'll be the brand section. We'll also be comparing it to all units we've ever tested. That's over 60 RoboVacs and counting. First up, we're looking at max CFM. Roombas tend to score lower in this category. You want to score higher usually because the higher the CFM, typically that translates pretty well to actual real world cleaning. But in this case, Roombas tend to score a little bit lower, but don't worry, you'll find out in just a second how they actually do in the real world. In this case though, this has one of the highest scores we've gotten out of a Roomba, 4.8 compared to their typical score, an average of 3.8, so 1 point greater. Still going to be a couple points below the typical average Roomba Vac when it comes to CFM. But have no fear, looking at our deep cleaning test where we embed coffee grounds into carpet and measure before and after, this unit comes in right at the iRobot average of 90, which is 5 points better than the typical average Roomba Vac when it comes to real-world deep cleaning. Next, we'll talk about decibels. With these values, the higher the value, the louder your vacuum's going to be. The good news here, though, this is just right at average. It's not going to be any louder or really any quieter than your typical RoboVac. Moving right along, let's talk about battery life. This is measured in minutes. We have a 120-minute runtime with our Vac Essential. It's about 15 minutes more than the typical Roomba average, but it's going to be about a half an hour less than your average RoboVac. A big reason why the battery life's below average is due to the fact that we have a below average battery capacity. Within Roomba and iRobot's own lineup, we're actually 200 milliamp hours greater than their average, which is good, so we're heading in the right direction. But compared to the overall typical RoboVac, we're still going to be about 1,400 milliamp hours less. But I will point out that it's impressive that with that smaller battery, Roombas specifically are able to squeak out, I would say, much better energy efficiency. So, tip your cap to iRobot for that. Next, let's talk about height. This is measured in inches, 3.2 inches for the height compared to the brand average of 3.5. So it's a little bit on the shorter side. Compared to the typical average RoboVac, we're going to be about 0.4 inches less. That's due to the fact that this does not have LiDAR navigation. If it did, you'd have a module up at the top for it to navigate and spin lasers around. We don't have that in this case. So the benefit or trade-off there is it's not going to be as smart when it comes to features like mapping, zone, room cleaning. But if you have a lot of objects and obstacles around your house that other vacuums can't navigate under or around or whatever it may be, this one with its height might just fit. Next, let's talk about bin capacity measured in milliliters. This unit has a 600 milliliter dust bin capacity. That's 200 milliliters more than your average Roomba. And I want to point out, if you're looking at the Roomba Combo Essential, the same vacuum as this, but with a mopping module. That one has a 400 milliliter dustbin, so this one has 200 milliliters more. The average typical RoboVac has a 420 milliliter dustbin. Last but not least, let's talk about the cost. So this is going to be one of the most affordable Roombas on the market today, so within iRobot's lineup, and it's going to be a couple $100 less than the typical average RoboVac. But the good news here is, looking at all of our key metrics, we're seeing at or near the average, but we're not at or near the average cost. So sure, there's features missing: self-empty, mopping, mop washing, drying, refilling, cleaning, all of that good stuff, LiDAR navigation, advanced mapping. But at the same time, if you're just looking for a floor cleaner for hard floors and carpets, and you could care less about a lot of that other stuff, that's going to be where this is really going to excel. So let me share with you my final thoughts after using the Roomba Vac Essential. Here's what you need to know. So this is an upgrade from the 600 series Roombas. Think the 675, 692, or 694. You will see, I would say on average, better deep cleaning results on carpets, which was a little surprising to me because this uses a different cleaning system. So on the 600 series, you had a really cool 2-roller system that had a big bristle brush, and it had a rubber brush, so it could agitate and beat everything out and vacuum it up. It also could self-level. That can't be done with this system. It has one roller that has a combined hybrid style brush with rubber and bristles, but it doesn't self-level. But they were able to get more out of this system with less. So I am impressed with that nonetheless. And for this particular vacuum, I have found that it's very aggressive. It's more aggressive than the 600 series. So I wish we had a way to dial that back, like a slider or a wheel or something to control how aggressive we want it to be. So in one instance, I found it stuck under my child's crib. It got about 3/4 of the way under the crib all on its own, and then eventually got stuck. So it's really, really aggressive, trying certain areas, trying to go over certain objects or obstacles, like my desk legs. They come down and then they lie flat on the ground, and it tries to drive up on it. Typically, you think the bumper would trigger it and it would stop, but in this case, it's just very aggressive. Some of you might really like that, but for me personally, I'd like to be able to dial that back.